Now, of course, they're going to come up with all kinds of reasons why you shouldn't be focused on that sales price, because that's not what they want you to do. Hello, car buyers of America. It's me, Sean, with Car Buying Tips Online. If this is your first video or the first time watching one of my videos, I do make videos like this quite frequently about how to get a good deal on a new car or a used car, or how to get the right financing, or any kind of questions that you may have about buying a car. What I want to talk to you about today is something called the Foursquare. And it's something that dealers use. Some people would say to rip you off. Others would say because it's to keep you focused on what's important to them. And that's really, it is about that. It's about keeping control of the sale, keeping control of you, the customer, and keeping you focused on what they want you to focus on and not what you should really be focused on. And what I mean by that is the Foursquare is broken into 4 sections. Now, I've seen 6 squares and 8 squares and different kinds as well, but the bottom line is you're going to have a sales price, you're going to have a trade-in, you're going to have a payment, and you're going to have a down payment. And then what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to get you to focus on one of those squares in the Foursquare. In other words, they're going to get you to agree to the sales price, however they get you to do that. Then they're going to move over to your trade-in. They're going to get you to agree to that number. Then they're going to move to your down payment, and they're going to get you to agree to that number. Then they're going to move to your monthly payment, and they're going to get you to try to agree to that number. Now, typically speaking, only 1 out of 100 times is somebody just going to agree to everything. And then they sign the Foursquare, and then they're off to the finance office to make a car deal, or they're paying cash. But usually the Foursquare is used in a finance situation. Now, what happens though most of the time is you're not going to agree to something. You're going to say, whoa, that's not enough money for my trade, or whoa, that sales price is much higher than I thought it was going to be, or the payment is higher than you thought it was going to be, which is what happens most of the time. And that's on purpose because they want you to focus on that box. Or you can say, I don't have any money down. Point is, most of the time, you're not going to agree to all 4 squares in the Foursquare. And that's exactly what it's designed to do. It's designed to isolate what it is that you're objecting about, meaning it's either the price, the trade-in value, the payment, or your down payment. Okay, that's what they want you to focus on. The reality is a little bit different. Obviously, you're thinking about a lot of different variables as a buyer. You're thinking about your budget concerns. You're still probably thinking about, is this car going to address all your needs? Or if you're someone who's just trying to get approved, then you're thinking about, is any of this going to matter? Because once they run my credit, am I going to actually get approved for these terms or this loan? So back to the Foursquare, what the salesperson's going to try to do is they're going to obviously try to isolate one of those squares that they have to overcome. Meaning they're going to get you to basically tell them that you are focused on this one particular box or square in the Foursquare. Meaning like, okay, most of the time it's not going to be the sales price unless you're a cash buyer, because quite frankly, most buyers do not concern themselves as much with the sales price as they should. And I'm saying this from 15 years of experience, 80% of the time you are going to focus on the payment, okay? Now, I know that you know what you can afford on a monthly basis. I can also show you calculators that you can use to determine based on what you think that your credit score is and what you think your interest rate is going to be, your final interest rate. There's tools and stuff out there, online calculators, that will help you to figure out how much car that you can buy and still be within your budgeted payment. Now, going back to the Foursquare, what the dealership's going to want to do is they're going to want to prey on that. Even if you're at a good dealer who's not really preying on you per se, but they're still using this tactic to keep control of the sale. And that means keeping you focused on one thing that they have to overcome to get your business. So that's why they use those 4 squares, because like I said, they want you to focus on one square. So most of the time you're going to go to the payment. So what is the salesperson going to do? Okay, well, Mr. Customer, if I can get this payment within the range that you want, let's just say you're like every other customer in America and you want to be $300 a month or less, or the magic number of $250, which has been kind of bumped up a little bit. But let's say You tell the salesperson, I know the payment on this Foursquare is $430 a month with a $1,500 down payment. And then there's a sales price, and then there's a trade value if you have a trade. However, you're going to tell that salesperson, well, I don't like that $430 a month. I really need it to be, or I want it to be, around $300 a month. And you just gave away all the valuable information that salesperson needs. Because he's going to run back to the sales desk, he's going to say he wants to be, or this customer wants to be, at $300 a month. What you need to focus on, and the way that you deal with the Foursquare, is you focus on the sales. You might think that $430 a month is too high, and it may be too high for your budget. But like I said, before you went into the dealership, I recommend that you use these loan calculators to find out what amount you can actually finance at what interest rate to get to the payment that you want to get to. So in other words, let's say in this situation, you've already figured out, you've calculated that your amount financed has to be $10,000 a month in order for you to be able to have a car payment of $300 a month if your interest rate is at 13%. Now, those numbers may be different for everybody, or they will be different for everybody, but you need to know those numbers before you go into the dealership. Whether it's a used car or a new car, you need to know those numbers. And by knowing those numbers, you can stay focused on the one square that the dealership does not want you to focus on, and that is the sales price. Because if you can keep them focused on the sales price, and you know where that sales price needs to be in order for you to have the amount finance number that you need to be at in order to get the payment that you want to get at, your desired payment. So by having that information, you've empowered yourself to be in a much better position to negotiate. And you can just keep them focused on the sales price. You just tell them right away, say, well, I'm not concerned with these other numbers because they'll fall into place once we get the sales price into place, or at the desired amount. You're going to know what interest rate you need to be at to get to your desired payment. So when they whip out the Foursquare on you and they start folding it in half and doing what we call whatever it takes to earn your business, you're going to be smarter than that. And you're going to tell them, I don't care. Let's go right back to that number one square of the Foursquare. Let's go back to your Foursquare, and let's go back to the box number one, that sales price. You go back to your sales manager and you tell him it's got to be at this number or less. And you know what that number is out there, America, because you did your research. So I hope that this video has helped you and empowered you so that next time you see the Foursquare, you're going to know exactly how to deal with it. You focus on the sales price, America. Well, I wish you good luck shopping. Thank you for watching my video. If you got anything out of this video today, please like the video. If you want to see more videos like this before you go car shopping, subscribe to my channel. Thank you, America.